Hello everybody, welcome to my channel if you are new here, or welcome back if you've been around for a while. My name is Natalia and my husband and I own a home on approximately 5 acres in the mountains of Colorado. We have 2 cats and 2 horses, and today's video is going to be about attempting to bring our pasture back to life, attempting to regenerate it for primarily grazing purposes for the horses. So to kind of get you up to speed on the area we live in, we are at high elevation. We're at about 8,500 feet in elevation here, and we are definitely in a mountainous region, and our property specifically is in a little bit of a valley. So we have forest kind of on either side of our property, but our property doesn't have any trees on it. We only have 1 tree that the previous owner planted, and we are attempting to plant trees, but that's going to be a different video. Our pasture gets a lot of sun. It's in full sun because there are no trees to get in the way. We have a lot of weeds out there. The previous owner had horses on this property for about 20 years. So the horses really over the years have grazed it down to be very sparse grass. A lot of plants out there that they don't eat or shouldn't eat. We have definitely done a bit of going through the pasture and removing plants that we know are toxic for the horses. And our hope is to regenerate the pasture so that we can use it as more of a primary food source in the summer. Now, granted, our summers are very short here. It's cold probably 7 to 8 months out of the year, so it will be a small amount of time that they are out there, but they absolutely love it, as horses do, and we want to try to give them as much grass as we can. Now, I did a bit of math here. I used Google Maps to really get specific about the acreage we're looking at. So our pasture is about 3.7 acres. Our property is about 5 acres. So those 3.7 acres, as you will see, we ended up planting about 75 pounds of a dryland pasture mix. And they recommend 30 to 35 pounds per acre, which would be about 4.5 bags. And we only seeded 1 acre of our pasture. So we technically overseeded that 1 acre using those 75 pounds. And right after we planted, we received a good snowfall. We probably got 4 to 6 inches of snow. It was heavy, wet spring snow, and it melted off quickly. And we're supposed to get more tonight as well. So we made sure to broadcast that seed on a day when we knew there was precipitation coming. So it has had precipitation. It's had a bunch of sun, and that is just where we are sitting currently. I do plan to follow up with you hopefully this summer, maybe late summer or early fall, and let you know how this went. But this is our journey. This is what we are doing for our pasture, and we have our fingers crossed that it is going to work for us and that the horses will have a more beautiful pasture this summer. All right, so step 1 of bringing our pasture back to life was buying a lawnmower and mowing the pasture down. So we ended up picking up our seed from our local conservation district, and we opted for a dryland mixture because it is so dry here and we go through periods of drought, and this is what they suggested for our area. Now, after we bought the seed, it was time to start broadcasting it, and we broadcast the seed with a hand seeder kind of around the house, and then we went and ended up picking up a used I don't know, push along cedar, so that's what we ended up using in the pasture. Hello, so it is April 24th, it's a Monday. I just finished up my work for the day and we are about to head outside and seed our pasture. And so far we have mowed it down, all except for one little area that we haven't gotten to, but we mowed it. And we are borrowing an ATV from our neighbor, a really friendly neighbor. He's going to let us borrow his ATV so that we can harrow a portion of the pasture, and then we got a seeder and we are going to put down some grass seed. We did not get enough seed to do our entire pasture. The pasture is, I think it's just over 3 acres. I'll have to look it up and double check, but I believe it's like 3.5 or like 3.6 acres of pasture. And we only got 100 pounds. It sounds like a lot, but we only got 100 pounds of seed, and we already used 25 pounds of seed around our house. We wanted to put down some seed around the house for kind of like erosion control, just to fill in some of the dirt patches that we have around the house. So now we have 75 pounds to use in the pasture. And right now we're planning on focusing on 2 areas specifically. One area is down at the end of the pasture. We're on a very slight grade, and you know, when it rains and snows, the water gathers down there, so the grass tends to grow really well. So we're going to focus on that area, and then we have another area that's up closer to the house, and that was where we've been like spreading manure over the winter, so hopefully it'll be really rich, kind of like fertile ground to put the seed on. So that is what we're gonna do. I'm also going to use the harrow on in our dry lot, and then I'm also going to run it through the piles of manure that we've been spreading. So we are hoping that by seeding, we can start really regenerating the pasture and getting good pasture growth for the horses to graze on during the summer. So we're gonna go hook up the harrow, and I'm gonna take you with us. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, or if maybe you have reseeded a horse pasture and you've had some luck with it. We are total beginners to this, so we are really having fun with just trying something and seeing how it works. Again, I do plan to follow up with you maybe late summer or early fall to let you know if we saw any sort of change in our pasture. And at that time, I'll also be able to follow up with information regarding what we plan to do in the future. You know, if it works, we'll probably overseed the other 2.7 acres of the pasture. And yeah, we just intend for this to be a little bit of an adventure and a journey. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Keep your fingers crossed for us. Let's hope that our pasture comes in beautifully this year. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.